Chapter 26. Gift or Debt. Yoon POV. Taewang, where are you taking me? I said, smiling while he is busy dragging me, ignoring the question I asked for the nth time. God, why is he so stubborn? Whatever he wanted, he would do, no matter what, just like today's breakfast. Not that I am complaining, this was the best breakfast I have ever had in this place. For the first time, it feels like a house rather than a prison. For the first time, our laughter and giggles were echoing in the mansion than his screams and my sobs. But today he didn't just show me his care towards me, but also his love. His worried eyes when I jumped down the counter to make breakfast were evident. His dark eyes were hazy with worried emotions as he made me sit on the counter again with another bucket of ice cream. I can't let my queen get even a single scratch. You are here to rule, not to work. He kissed my knuckle. My queen will just order me how to make. I will do everything. No amount of hatred or fear stopped my lips to curve into a smile. In an attempt to shrug off the growing awkwardness between us due to the sudden silence, I said, "This is my favorite flavor. What a coincidence, right?" I said, scooping a big bite from the bucket of wild blueberry ice cream. Last one was also my favorite. I said as a matter of fact, for him to smile while shaking his head. You will get every flavor you ever liked here, he said, putting a pan on the stove and adding some oil, while my confused gaze was stuck on him. Before my queen stepped into her palace, I made sure everything she likes is here, and I know how big a part food is of your life, he said, ruffling my hair. I caressed my hair subconsciously as he continued. A section in the fridge is reserved for my queen's ice cream. So I will become fat, I said, taking another bite and melting because of both the dessert and the person who gave me this. I won't mind my queen being chubby. Then you will look like a Doraemon. He smiled widely, like imagining me being fat. I gasped at the realization as I unconsciously slapped his shoulder, a habit of mine when our relationship wasn't as complicated as now. He started laughing while rubbing the place I attacked like it really hurt him. I looked aside while pouting and eating. But in another second, that devil was in front of me. Stop being so hot and cute, my Doraemon, he said, pinching my cheeks, but another second he cupped my cheeks and pecked my forehead. Don't be so conscious about your looks, my love. You always look adorable to me because your heart is beautiful. I smiled even wider with memories. His voice, his words, and his gestures scream only one emotion, and fortunately, it's love. Those comfortable giggles and wonderful laughs made a space in my heart just like the kiss of other days. As the memories of the kiss flashed in front of me, my heart thudded with so many questions. The battle of right and wrong again started. My rationality tried to knock me out of this wonderful present and lock me in the past where we both hated each other. In half an hour, my class is going to start. Where are you taking me? I asked, forcing myself to be in the present. He looked at me before tugging me forward, as now his hand is around my waist as my body stiffened due to his sudden grip. No one is allowed to disturb us when the king decides to spend some time with Queen. He pecked my hair before resuming our journey. My body relaxed under his grip as spending time doesn't sound that bad, at least not after this morning. But where are we going? I ask like a lost child, as still my mind is unable to register every place in this palace. You will see. Wow, what an amazing answer. It cleared all my doubts. I looked around to see the ground from where we could go to forests, gardens, lakes, stables, and so many other places. I huffed irritatedly. Why does this place have to be so confusing? I know it won't hurt me, but still being with Taewang taught me to never put my guards down completely. It will only harm me, especially when I am with someone whose mood can change faster than I can change my clothes. I turned towards him only to see him staring at me. You won't be able to figure out this one. I wanted to see a reaction. He smiled even more widely as his eyes somehow calmed my nerves. Let's go, I can't wait anymore. He said it like I spoiled his every surprise before. No matter whether it was good or bad, I was unable to figure it out until he wanted to disclose what was in his mind. I looked forward, because of our halted steps, to see an old stable with the dusty smell of wood and hay in the summer, making me feel like I was out for an adventure. Why are we here? I mumbled to myself, not being able to understand what's in his mind now. But before I could ask anything, he dragged me inside like an excited kid. Stopping in front of a pure black horse with a white star on its forehead, like a bright star in the moonless night. "He is Prince," he said, caressing his hand on the standing black beauty, which visibly loved it. And for the first time, I saw him soft towards anybody whose response is breaking his cold facade and exposing the warm soul I always suspected. My oldest friend, I earned him when I was 5. He smiled as his mind dragged him back to childhood. His partner shrugged a little, bringing Taewang back. "What happened, buddy?" he asked while patting his head, but another second gripped his mouth. "I missed you too," he said when Prince nuzzled his head on him, making him giggle and massaging his neck. "Meet my wife. He is beautiful." I smiled, looking at their friendship. Prince glanced at me before leaning more towards Taewang and enjoying his massage. "Oh, my boy." He laughed, looking at me. It takes time for him to befriend someone. I remember him glaring at Jinwoo in the first meeting. "He is quite possessive of you, I guess." I giggle, looking at the horse all happy with him. It's such a rare scene when Taewang cares for someone. "Yeah, he is." He patted his head before walking towards the corner. "But I know how he will like you," he said, going inside the stall. I looked at the prince with a smile, but soon it disappeared, looking at him, who is eyeing me with a judging look, like trying to figure out if I am good for his friend or not. Now I understand how Taewang's friend Jinwoo would have felt when the black beast threatened him wordlessly for not hurting his best friend. "Hey, Prince," I said, stretching my hand towards his neck, but stopped abruptly when he leaned away from me. I smiled wider at his behavior. "I understand Taewang is yours only. I am here just because of him," I said, taking my hand down. "I just hope Taewang also understands this and frees me." "Here." I slightly flinched because of his unexpected presence. He lifted my hand, keeping a fresh peach on it. I looked at him, confused, when he pecked my temple, making my heart beat faster with an unknown emotion. "Feed him." Before I could react, he turned me in front, making me face the black beast, which is literally now glaring at me. Jealousy is dripping from his eyes. "Come on, don't you want my best friend by your side?" He brought up the hand on which I am fisting the juicy fruit, trying my best to not squeeze it and ruin the treat of Prince. Soon Taewang held my hand and softly started unfolding my fingers. I tried to voice my disapproval, but he beat me in it. "You're a Kim now, baby. For how long will you be able to run from horses?" I looked at him from the side of my eyes to notice a mischievous grin dancing on his lips. "Keep your palm straight." He brought my hand near the eager mouth of Prince, but I jerked it back, shaking my head. "Oh baby, he won't bite," he said, whispering near my ear before snuggling in my hair. "Not at least like me." I can feel his smirk when he kept his chin on my shoulder, his hot breath turning into the cold wind on my sweaty face when he stretched my hand towards his best friend's. "Trust me, if someone wants to bite you, it's not Prince." Somehow his words shifted my fear of the beast in front of me to the beast holding me. Leaning a bit, I did what he said. Even when my fingers were itching to be balled, I brought the fruit in front of his mouth and flinched slightly when he attacked it. A sweet giggle echoed near my ear as Taewang took my free palm and made me caress it on his neck while he was busy enjoying his treat. Prince looked at me, noticing the unfamiliar touch, but decided to ignore it, making me confident a bit. "That's my buddy," Taewang said, playing with him on the side, then turned at me with a bright smile and caressed Prince's head, which was kept on his shoulder. "Just treat him, and this greedy boy will never glare at you." I laughed loudly when Prince banged his mouth on Taewang's head as if he disagreed with him. "Sorry, buddy, you're not greedy, my bad." Taewang faced him, but he snickered angrily. Okay, I won't say it again." "Don't be angry." Taewang turned his head towards him with his tiny hands compared to the beast and started caressing lovingly, before attaching his forehead to the star on Prince's head as he bowed a little in front of him. I never expected to see this side of Taewang. I never thought he would have a soft corner for someone. That too for a horse was the last thing I would have thought in my whole life. "Now go, wait for me on the ground. We will go for a ride today." Taewang unlocked the door, and Prince walked out obediently like he got every single word. I looked at him with amazement. He is as regal as Taewang, walking out with a proud walk, knowing he owns this stable just like Taewang owns the palace. Suddenly, my face is softly cupped and turned towards the black-brown eyes which hold so much warmth and love. I doubt these are the same eyes which used to pierce my soul. You know, baby, there are many stages to make space in someone's heart. I nodded, unable to keep my eyes off his while his lips settled into a smile which is calm, soft, and voicing every warm word he is keeping to himself. My breath hitched when he joined our foreheads and looked at me the same way he looked at Prince a while ago, which screams how precious I am to him. And my queen passed a stage today. His eyes welled up as his smile widened. I didn't understand what he said, but I know it's something important enough to let his happiness escape from his eyes. Before I could understand his words and find out the reason behind his sudden tears, I was again pulled by him to another stall where another horse looked at us. Unlike Prince, this horse looked quite young, and his body is reflecting purity of white color than the darkness of night. But like no one can be perfect, he was neither because of a black star on the forehead, the only thing similar between them. The horse reminded me of a unicorn I read about in my childhood, whose beauty was immortal just like the one in front of me. He is beautiful. Words merely came out of my mouth, as I am not able to divert my gaze from the horse who leaned toward me. Taewang corrected me while putting another peach in my hand. Then she is pretty. The absence of ignorance and glare from her side made me a bit more confident as I stood high and offered her a treat which vanished the second it came near her. Unintentionally, my hand went towards her neck to caress her. It felt like she melted in my touch as she leaned towards my hand, wanting more. I laughed happily as Taewang joined me in a few seconds. You know, my queen, every Kim has their own horse. I looked at him for the first from the moment I set my eyes on the white beauty, who leaned more on my palm when I stopped stroking her. It's the proof in this palace that you are a Kim. I turned towards him as his eyes again welled up with joy and pride. Stepping forward, he cupped my cheeks so softly, like I am petal. And today you became a Kim too, a true Kim. He pecked my forehead to confirm it's not a dream by touching me from time to time. Hyung's accepted you as Kim by gifting you this. He placed my hand on the head of the horse, and a tear escaped from my eyes. It's not that I ever took any gift for granted, but this one has its own importance. It felt like I earned it at the same time when I lost everything. The feeling of being part of a family where Jihoon and Joon our elders somehow gave a sweet feeling, but having Taewang by my side tastes nothing but bitter. This should make me sad for stepping deeper into the dark forest of our fake relationship, but somehow it felt like I was walking towards the light again. Why does it feel like freedom when it's actually binding me more? Why does it feel right when everything between us is so wrong? A pair of soft lips brought me back in front of the man who somehow bonded me and released me at the same time. I felt his lips moving on my lips softly as his one hand rubbed away the evidence of my tears. I closed my eyes as his touch sank inside my heart, making it heavy and eager for more, and for the first time his kiss didn't break another stitch of my sewn heart. For the first time, my emotions accepted his love and purified my view towards him. Backing away, he looked into my eyes with his heavy breaths as his next words swelled my heart with happiness. Welcome to the family, Mrs. Kim Yoon. Gifts, such a weird custom of our society. A society where we are eager to kill anybody for just a penny gave it to our friends in the name of a gift. It can be the most expensive one, limited edition or customized, but it never weighs our hearts with an obligation of paying it back. The thought of an IOU never crosses someone's mind. But in my case, by accepting the gift, I lost my life. By walking beside Hayoon, I named her, thinking about heaven, as she doesn't belong in this hell but came for me. I smiled like a companion with boots and a helmet on as I accepted myself as part of the most feared family of Korea. I don't know if I should be happy or sad about gaining my first friend in this palace, when she will be another barrier when I will finally be able to walk out of this relationship. But my lips never stopped smiling when Taewang gave me a crash course of do's and don'ts with her. I was unable to suppress my laugh when Hayoon nuzzled my stomach. I was unable to hide the shine in my eyes when she walked for the first time, and I squeezed my thighs hesitantly. I never refused to be grateful when she was generous enough to forgive my mistakes rather than dropping me down on the ground. Feels like even when my mind isn't ready to accept it, my heart already welcomes Hayoon into it. And why not? Animals are far better than us, at least they don't betray. I love Mother Nature. Even today when she is caging me, at least it is better than being imprisoned by concrete and pollution. But when we walked towards the green shade of trees, I felt like a child who, for the first time, entered this magical world, the world where everything makes sense, everything has logic and secrets, but most of all it has liveliness, somehow we humans forget. When I was turning with Hayoon slowly, as Taewang was walking beside me like a teacher making sure that I am doing it perfectly while giving Hayoon freedom to kick me down if I ever became unbearable for her. To be honest, I suspect the latter one, as other than him no one is allowed to give me a scratch. Blood rushed in my body due to happiness as I was unable to suppress my smile every time we dodged a tree. Every time I glance at Taewang, the walls around my heart melt a little more from the warmth of his eyes. Genuineness in his eyes is something which calms me and stresses me at the same time. I know he will never give up on me, and I will never be able to reciprocate his feelings. I betrayed him, but I can't betray Kai. Baby, let's rest a little, then we will head back, Taewang said and caressed Prince's neck as he snickered. There's a pond near, let's go, my buddy is thirsty. I slightly nodded as my full attention went on turning Hayoon left and following Prince. I am standing in front of the pond, staring at the calm water which is reflecting someone like me. Because it isn't me. Yes, I used to be broken, depressed, hurt and scared, but never so confused. I always know what my heart wants while my mind helps me to achieve it, but now my heart and mind aren't having the same goal. They're fighting with each other than the problems in my life. This tug of war left me confused, so confused about my feelings. Sometimes I want to give Taewang a chance, and other times I want to run as far away from him as possible. I stared at my replica with so much confusion. These days I don't know what I want. I am just standing in front of two ways and am not able to decide which one to choose. I looked at the sky, which is layered with sheets of clouds like today. They also know we will be out, so they decided to give us some relief from the sunlight. I don't usually avoid sunlight before the first task of Taewang. What are you looking at? I looked beside me to see Taewang's gaze in the same direction. Nothing. I looked down to again confront my replica. How can I ever be able to confess to Kai that somehow Taewang invaded the space of my heart that only he deserves? How will I explain to him that I was forced? Forced by overwhelming emotions, forced by ceasing logic. Will he hate me after knowing just like him? Will I be abandoned like before? I sigh as guilt covers the layer of happiness I had a few moments ago. You know, Uni, I dreamed about this day millions of times from the day I met you. I heard his desperate voice distracting me from my internal battle. Turning towards me, he looked with moist eyes. When you were innocent in front of me, when you were evil, it doesn't matter. My heart only wants you to be the queen. I looked at him to see the same intensity in his eyes, which I used to see in my eyes for Kai. I sighed internally as I wanted to look away, but my heart was not allowing me to. I smiled countless times like an idiot to imagine the day you will be accepted by Hyungs, the day from which you won't be just Mrs. Kim Yoon who rules my heart, but the queen who will rule the country. He smiled as a tear dropped from his eyes. My eyes brimmed just looking at him. Blood rushed in my veins. My heart throbbed behind its cage as I am struggling to not hug him, not to console him. He stepped towards me while sniffing. He looked like a person who achieved something he never expected he would ever get. This is a special day for you, for me, for us. Holding my hand, he sneaked into my soul through my eyes. And I want you to remember it because of me, not them. Somehow his voice lacked warmth when he mentioned them. He shoved a hand in his pocket while his eyes never left mine. Another second, a brighter smile came on his face when his hand brought something covered in red silk cloth. You will remember this day whenever you will look at it, he said, exposing a beautiful bracelet. Holding my right hand, he continued. And whenever you will remember this day, you will remember me, remember us, he said, sliding the bracelet inside my hand. I looked at it when I felt something warm, then the coldness of the metal. That's when I realized it's not made of some precious metal, but a precious thing for our survival. I looked deeply at the new gift, which might have no value in the market, but is priceless for an art and nature lover. I looked at the person who gifted something as different as him. How can he make me hate him and appreciate him at the same time? Bamboo is the sign of longevity and strength, he said, tugging me towards him softly. This will be always with you, showing our everlasting love. He hugged me, making my body freeze on the spot from his sudden act. I balled my hands when he sniffed me like an addict.
Taewang POV. Walking down the corridor, I clenched my hands, remembering her stiffness under my embrace. I did everything to make her comfortable with me. She needs to understand my efforts and cooperate before I lose the last string of my patience. Opening the door, I confronted the most annoying creature sitting on my bar, emptying my expensive collection. Welcome, welcome, the great king, who again missed a meeting, Jinwoo said, jumping down from the chair. If you spare my life, your highness, can I ask where were you so busy to even respond to my calls? He asked, bowing down dramatically. I brought out my phone from the same pocket where I kept her gift, the sign of my love. Only to get the notification of 50 missed calls. I looked up to see that shorty glaring at me. Did aliens attack the building that you wanted me so desperately? I asked, avoiding his glare when I walked towards the bar. Even aliens also know that if they wanted to kidnap you, they should attack the mansion. He said, sitting beside me. Either you are bunking everything to stick with that poor girl or trying to go to her as soon as possible. I glared at him, who just shrugged at pouring a drink for me. Gulping it down in one go I replied. That poor girl is my wife, and we need time to get along. Pouring another drink, he sighed, knowing I am right. Hyungs would have kicked you out of the company till now if it wasn't for me. It's my company Jinwoo, I said, smirking. You should have seen him today, then you wouldn't be so confident. Sipping the red liquid, I nodded, agreeing with him. So how did it go? What? You're surprised did she like it? I glared at him. He is my soulmate, the one I never hide anything from. We shared everything: powers, fame, hobbies, and even Hyungs. But Yoon is different. I will never bear any other relation in her life other than our relationship. I sighed heavily, but this shorty can't give me space in married life too. I swear I will kill him in front of you, the day I found him. I fisted my hand around the glass when he giggled, slapping my back mockingly. You won't be able to find him, I assure you. He said, taking another sip. So how did it go? I clenched my jaw thinking about what she did. I was so happy to see the emotions I was craving forever in her eyes. The moment I gifted her the rarest thing in the world, I expected a hug, at least a thank you, but what I got was her zoning out. And when I tried to initiate, she became stone. I didn't want to notice her fisted hand. I don't want to remember her throbbing heart like her body wants to run away from me. I don't want to accept the cavity in her eyes after I backed. But how can I ignore them when they stab my heart? How is the tree you planted the day you claimed? Fine. I interrupted him, returning to the cabin with an aching heart. It is taller than me now. Yeah, I remember you used to visit it every year on its anniversary and water it. He said, giving me full attention, but my heart ached to remember that day. But is it alive because of you? I furrowed my eyebrows. I knew he changed the topic, but where this is going now? No, right? I shook my head, taking another small sip. It's alive because of the gardener who took care of it the whole year. I nodded again as he sighed heavily before leaning on the chair. Relations are also like that tree, we need to water them daily and wait for them to grow. He paused, making my heart race with his words and the one he isn't saying. He knows me too well. He knows what will happen if I snap. He knows how I can destroy everything. You spend weeks carving her a gift, I hope her heart is worth more than a few months. Gulping the leftover drink, he stands up. But don't spoil the roots by watering too much. Were his last words before he walked past me and left me alone with my racing heart and memories of today. Maybe she didn't say anything, but her eyes showed it all. her smile expressed them enough. Caressing my heart, I smiled. Soon you will confess to me, I won't leave any other choice for you, my love.
Author POV. No matter how skilled or talented you are, a few things just take time. But will Taewang be able to understand it? Will Yoon be able to sort out her emotions before it's too late?